Right, Dad, how was your first boffy experience?
Yeah, it's comfortable enough and certainly works when the weather turns nasty outside.
Mm.
It's just that I had a bit of a restless night's sleep because I was too warm.
Because we had a big fire.
Yeah, too warm in the middle of the night. And got out of the sleeping bag and then next minute I'm too cold. So, yeah, a bit of a restless night's sleep really.
Yeah,
Taking a couple of paracetamols knocked me out, they worked.
yeah.
So I did get a few hours sleep. But yeah, the boffies, they're great boffies.
Mm.
This one's been brilliant. That getting that fire going. It was like home from home last night.
Yeah, the scenery was amazing. Being all comfy. I had my blow up mat across there, so I was really comfy. Um, yeah.
I had my feet up on the chair, resting my old feet like that in front of the fire. Yeah,
Perfect.
ready to go again now.
Yeah. Right. So we're heading off down the valley, and we're heading towards Laggan. So we're gonna just walk today until we can't walk anymore. Basically, that's the plan today. So yeah, gonna be a pretty big day, but we're gonna crack on with it. There we go. Leave it cleaner than you found it. So we had a lovely night in the Boffy last night. Nice big fire. It was lovely and warm in there. A couple of German guys doing the East Highland Way as well come in and joined us. We had a few whiskies, talked stories, and it was a good night. We actually stayed up quite late actually, and then yeah, said our goodbyes this morning, and they went their way and we went our way, and that's the way of the trail. And it's pretty cool when you bump into people who have similar interests to you and enjoy the same things, and you have so many different stories. So anyway, hi guys, if you do get a chance to watch it, nice meeting yous. This remote section has been absolutely stunning. It's going to take a lot to top this section. It's so beautiful. It's just a real Highlands vibe about it, especially around the Boffy area, and just the views everywhere of the mountains on top of mountains and silhouettes of the mountains in the background. It's just so beautiful. It's what you imagine when you imagine Scotland. It's a very special place. Meh. Meh. Oi, 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 oi. So we just had a little break in Laggan. Sadly the coffee shop wasn't open, so we just had a few snacks, a little bit of a drink, but it looks pretty remote from this point on. Not a lot of amenities, so we're going to be relying on our little supply of food and drink to get us through the next few miles. yeah, and apparently it gets really beautiful, quite remote now, so I'm going to enjoy the next few miles, and eventually we get to a nice little loch apparently, so maybe that'll be a nice place to camp up for the night along a loch, but we'll see. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. So it looks like we're on some forestry roads again for a while. It's lovely though in these woodlands with the birds singing, and we've got some beautiful views over some mountains just behind us. Look at them, lovely. So yeah, we're heading west all the time, back to Fort William, and obviously Fort William's where Ben Nevis is, so the scenery just keeps getting more and more beautiful as we get closer and closer to some of the big mountains in the area. And yeah, it's a very beautiful trail. Definitely recommended so far. If it starts raining later on, I might be singing a different tune, but I think we're in for good weather today, to be fair. And we've been very lucky for the weather the whole 6 days we've been here so far, so yeah, very good. Oh, very cute.
Hey, Mum. There you go, move.
Always finding stuff, aren't you, Ned? Don't let him fall off.
Yeah, I'm gonna let him go.
So I just passed a couple who mentioned there's a old druid fort or something on the top of this hill. So I've decided to let Dad have a bit of a break, give him a decent lunch. I'm walking up packless just to check it out, and then I'll get some food quick before we set off. Look at these mountain bike trails. I'd love to come back here and have a go on some of these all the way down off this fort. So I'm guessing the fort's on top of that big mound. Looks like a great defensive position. Really steep sides, which means they're really steep sides for me to climb up. But yeah, let's go investigate. So yeah, I think this is what remains of the wall. Obviously quite thick. Big defensive position looking over at that. I think this is just like something, I don't know whether it is actually part of it, but maybe it is. Just looks like a place to get out of the wind to me that someone's built, but yeah, that's pretty cool. And further down here, some more remnants of the wall just over there. So you can clearly see it was a fort with some big old views. Pretty crazy. So here's a nice example of the fort walls. You can see how thick they are, how they were built. Pictish, this fort is. So very old. Thus why there's a lot of moss growing on them, and they're in quite a lot of disrepair, but wow. Proper remnants of the past. Proper Scottish history right there. So we're dropping down to a loch soon. Someone told us there's a lovely beach there, so I think I'm going to go for a swim, cool off, chill out for an hour or two, and then hit the trail again and do till about 7:30 tonight, and then find somewhere nice to camp. But yeah, definitely do fancy cooling off in a nice loch now. So we made it to the loch, and it is, swear to God, one of the most beautiful places I have ever been. This is gorgeous. Wow. Wow. Yo, Tom Hanks, where's Wilson? That's nice, Danny. A bit of an opening there. So we had a beautiful little stop at the end of the loch. Beautiful views all the way up the loch. Went for a little swim in the freezing snow melt loch, and yeah, I feel really good now. I love a cold water swim, especially when you've been on the trail for like 3 days without a shower. Nothing beats just getting a little freshen up in a nice cold loch. And it's been quite warm today, to be honest. Like, not the warmest day ever, not like really hot sun, but perfect for hiking in. Perfect weather for hiking in. Anyway, we're just going to do a couple more hours and then hopefully find a lovely spot by this beautiful loch to set up camp for the night. And then yeah, I'll show you the camp setup. That is some serious real estate, that. Kind of suits me, don't you think? A one-day house, eh? Beautiful. So we're struggling to find anywhere to camp. We've plugged on, and the banks of the loch seem pretty steep now. I'm hoping there's going to be a little beach a little further down, but we'll have to see. So we've managed to make camp, got ourselves a fire going. We held out for a fairly decent spot. We're on a nice little beach, tents up, fire's going. We're going to get some food on and then just enjoy the night with a nice beach fire. Lovely. These views are ridiculous. Look at this. Wow. It's going to be lovely spending the night here.